You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information. The views and opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily represent those of the network, its advertisers, owners, or sponsors.
Hey, episode 261 of the IT and the D Show. Post-motor.
This is a finely tuned machine, people. I don't think you understand all of the hard work and dedication and pre-work that goes into making this run so smoothly.
Hashtag Studio Magic.
Post Michigan Comic-Con guests this week include Kevin J. Anderson. You may not know him, but he literally wrote the sequels to Star Wars and is the author of about 25 Star Wars books.
54
and
Star Wars related.
And he's not bitter about any of the things going on at Disney right now.
No, not at all.
And we had a great...
And he remembered me from 20 years ago, which was awesome. That's such a good interview.
And we had a great conversation with him. Also, author, funny guy, friend of ours, Erick Gutierrez, author of Maxie Inebriated Rabbit.
And possibly the only man who has more voices trapped in his head than I do.
Oh, hilarious. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll kiss $3 goodbye. And we'll also talk about a bunch of stuff going on. This is the IT and the D Show. And Dave, you may fire when ready.
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Following program is intended for mature audiences.
I'm Wyatt, that's Gary, you're Bob, and you're Dave. This is the IT and the D Show.
This is Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
This is Billy D. Williams. Bob and Dave and I are enjoying a Colt 45 right now. And remember, IT in the D, it works every time.
Just where do you guys think you are?
The Library of Congress?
Detroit? Beyond the sun?
Any of those, right?
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come! Shut up!
Hey, Dad, hello, this is Pinky, the genius, the real genius behind Pinky in the Brain. And when we take over the world, the only show that people will be able to listen to is IT in the D with Bob, Dave, and Yuri. No!
Hi, this is Christy Swanson, and you're listening to the IT in the D Show. And Bob and Dave touch my hoo-hoos.
What happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bumhole?
Exactly.
Come on. Someone tries.
What the hell with this? I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the TV show.
This is Guilfoyle from Silicon Valley, and the only two guys I hate more than Dinesh are Bob and Dave. Suck it, guys.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to IT and the D Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Hi, this is David Kay, the voice of Professor Xavier from X-Men Evolution. Storm! Come here, Storm. Sit on my lap, Storm.
You're listening to IT in the D.
Are we at a break yet?
Hey, everybody, this is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. You're listening to IT in the D. And if you want to get your money's worth, stay right here. And remember, everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT in the D. All you nerds out there.
Nerds. What is a nerd?
Hi, this is Ogre. You listen to a bunch of nerds on the IT and the D? Nerd.
I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
Hi, it's Julia Montgomery from Revenge of the Nerds. I listen to IT and D. And I'm in love with a nerd.
Hey, Detroit, this is Anthony Michael Hall. You're listening to my buddies Bob and Dave on IT in the D.
Hey, what up? This is Jay Muse, and you're listening to the IT and D Show. Snooch to the nooch. Listen, Muse, Snoogans.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Pump Pump. IT and the D Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
I'm totally into Dave, but not so much Bob.
This is Robert Hayes, Ted Stryker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat stick.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT and the D Show. Tough guy. Ho!
Hello, smart people. Yakko Warner here, and the only show we listen to in the water tower is Bob, Dave, and Nuri at IT and the D. Good night, everybody!
Hi, this is Kelly LeBrock from Weird Science.
So,
Bob and Dave, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do, the question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
What is up? Thank you for listening. This is the one and only IT and the D Show, episode 261, broadcasting live here in Studio One in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. Bob the sales guy hanging out with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG, Randy, I do the Twitters, Walker is doing the Twitters. Find us online, itinthed.com. We got some new blog posts we've written and we're releasing. We haven't written in a very, very long time, so check those out.
Who do we take aim at? We took aim at Don't Be That Guy, the premature the premature movie critic guy.
Yeah, that was bad. How not to suck at trade shows.
Yeah.
How not to suck at going to a Comic-Con.
That's going live tomorrow. We did release The Politics of Dancing.
The Politics of Dancing.
If you were ever curious about the politics of, I don't know, throwing a room party at a con and all the fun that goes along with
Go
that.
figure.
Yeah, exactly. How timely was that? And then, so tomorrow, the How Not to Suck at Going to Con, which item number 1 is take a goddamn shower.
Yeah.
Because,
I don't know that it had to been said, but it needed to be said.
It needed to be said.
But do us a favor, give us a like on the socials and subscribe to us everywhere. Fine podcasts are sold.
This episode brought to you by WGU. WGU is an online university that's changing lives by changing higher education. Its innovative competency-based learning model was designed specifically to fit in the lives of busy adults. WGU is nonprofit and surprisingly affordable, offering bachelor's and master's degree in business, IT, and healthcare. WGU works with industry experts to make sure their degrees are current and relevant, so you get the skills and credentials that employers are seeking. Many industry certifications are included in their IT degree programs at no extra cost. And if you already have the certifications, they transfer so you can finish later.
That doesn't suck.
No.
Finishing faster means saving more and graduating with less student debt.
Also not sucking.
It's also about half the cost of most other online universities.
Trifecta of not suck.
WGU graduates work in positions of responsibility for leading companies like Microsoft and Apple, and even the government. Get your $65 application fee waived at wgu.edu/itinthed. That's wgu.edu/itinthed to learn more and get your $65 application fee waived. wgu.edu/itinthed.
That doesn't sound awful at all.
Dude, you are so smooth when you do that shit. Seriously. I got just props.
Thanks, man.
It was
companies pay me for it.
No, I was telling Nuri about like when Jim Brandstetter, if nobody has seen the notes or follow football around town, Jim Brandstetter, the voice of U of M football and the Detroit Lions for the last 30 years, is doing a show here at Podcast Detroit.
Where's he doing a show?
Right here. Here? In the studio behind us.
Podcast Detroit?
Yeah.
Podcast Detroit. But like,
I heard there were so many other places going after him to get him to do a show there.
Stop. But what I was telling Nuri, I'm like, man, I go, I know you don't follow football, but you got to watch this guy just wax poetic. I mean, he is the consummate, like, in front of a microphone.
I fumbled over an ad read, earlier, and like, dude, that man, first podcast, episode 1, never had done anything like it before.
Knows his way around a microphone.
Right. But podcasting is weird to him. Like, he's like, I don't know what this is. What is going on here?
He's used to music in the headphones, got to take a break. He's used to radio.
Producer in his ear.
Oh yeah. Man, that man sat down and burned 17 minutes like he hadn't even breathed. It was phenomenal to watch. It really, really was.
Just rolled out of him.
Yeah. And it was all topical, timely, amazing, great. I mean,
he could have been reading the crossword puzzles and I would have been like, oh my God, do more.
Read me a bedtime story.
Yeah.
Right. But hey, did you hear
the brandyshow.com?
The Brandy Show.
Check that out.
The website's not ready, so don't go there.
No, they've got to redirect.
Oh, okay. But the bomb that heard around the world dropped or whatever on
bill of materials
Tuesday. No, this isn't.
I always hated being on an airplane on a conference call. Like, yeah, I'm totally going to work on the bomb on this flight, and I'm like, oh shit,
damn it!
12 people around me are now
Air
panicking.
Marshal again.
No, this is an actual.
Materials. I work for Cisco. It's cool.
This is an actual bomb. The press release for TEDx Detroit came out, including the speaker lineup for this year. And
anybody of note on it by any chance?
Me and you? I don't know if that's of note. So TEDx Detroit's taking a leap of faith. Thank you, Charlie Wolberg. You are putting me and Dave on a stage together in a tag team TEDx format, which has not been done in the 10 years of TEDx Detroit.
Will only one emerge? Please tell me only one.
Two men enter, one man leaves.
This is not that.
I am your Bob now.
Look at me.
Only if I can say Master Blaster run Bartertown.
It's you going to be up on stage. There's going to be an awkward silence at some point, and all of a sudden you're just going to hear Bob go, "Not shit, energy."
But we're going to be at the Fox end of September. We still have no idea what we're talking about. We think we do.
Well, we kind of know what we're talking about. We just haven't really planned that out yet.
We're not writing anything down because, unlike,
it's us. We're going to wing it, and it's going to be beautiful, and we're going to have some loose notes.
And I'm going to be in the front row, so whenever you guys have an awkward silence, I will then interject an actual fact.
Right. Or you're going to have
this presentation brought to you by WGU.edu.
or a fart app to throw us off. I can see people trying to throw us off like right now, like bullshitter. Like,
oh, absolutely.
You're stupid.
Yeah. He'll actually be in the front row holding his tablet towards us with like awkwardness all over.
The mirror with the light. But yeah, end of September, TEDx Detroit. Get your tickets. I believe they're $85. Fox Theater. We got third session, which is probably mid-afternoon. We'll be podcasting all day.
Well, and we are. We're gonna have the gear set up, so we'll be doing interviews with everybody else that's going on and doing things. It should be pretty good.
But I'm not lying. We goof. But I'm taking this very seriously. We're going to be speaking in front of more people we ever have in our lives.
And let's be honest, it's quintessential us. We have openly mocked TEDx Detroit for years,
right?
Until now that they've invited us to speak.
Fox Theater.
Their website says Masonic.
Masonic this year?
Yeah.
They had a big Fox sign on the.
That's Fox 5 Detroit, Bob.
Oh, but there was a Fox Theater. I don't know. Figure it out. TEDxDetroit.com, where all the things are.
You just go to there and figure it out.
No, but that, just to give away a little bit, the intro of our thing is going to be like, hey, you're not going to learn anything by listening to us. We will not inspire any of you to do anything.
We are not thought leaders. Yeah, it's at the Masonic Theater, bro.
We're not masterminds. Even better. I like the Masonic. We're not masterminds. We're not experts. We're not ninjas or gurus.
Not gurus, not, no.
Yeah.
Rock stars.
We're not the rock star of, no.
No, we're not rainmakers.
No. Oh God, no.
We're not. No.
We're not fancy ketchup.
No.
Not only at the Coliseum, right? Nuri is in.
The sounds of making rain translated to podcast.
Right.
But hey, jumping in real quick. Story came out last week.
Actually, the only one order of business, the only thing I want to make sure people know about, if you do listen to us, you do pay attention to what we do here at Podcast Detroit. We did move the next free podcast day, because it was going to be September 1st. And that is Labor Day weekend. So it is going to be Saturday, September 8th.
Perfect.
It's there.
So a story came out last week. And I got to argue about this. So it's basically it's an employee.
Oh, the guy from Cree?
Yeah, basically charged with
Apollo Cree.
Yeah, Apollo Cree. No, yeah, they couldn't afford the D.
Cree, some kind of creature from like a Marvel universe.
That's with a K.
Oh, it's with a K. Okay, cool.
So basically, the headline of this is he's charged with stealing company secrets worth more than $100 million.
Dude, this just,
right?
Yeah.
So this is screaming bullshit to me, and I'll tell you why. One is, so they're publicly traded on NASDAQ and basically downloaded 32,000 files onto a micro SD card.
Right.
And
who the hell uses micro SD cards in computers anymore?
Well, I mean, if that's what you have available to you, that's what you use.
I guess.
Affidavit says another employee.
Affidavit? So it's
affidavit.
It's before Nuri, but affidavit.
Affidavit says another employee found the card on a sidewalk.
So you go to all the trouble to sneak 32,000 files out of an office, and you just willy-nilly drop it on the sidewalk.
On a sidewalk, and Cree IT department linked it to Bell's computer. So not only that, someone from Cree had to find it, and then someone from Cree had to plug it in to see what it was.
Yep.
And I'm
not going to lie. And this whole thing sounds very Kevin Mitnick-ish to me. I mean, if you remember, Mitnick, the whole thing was, he downloaded the Vax VMS source code. He didn't actually do anything with it. He didn't distribute it. And yet they said, it was a theft worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So, okay.
No. My take is on this is the company be willingly getting this guy to do this, to say their shit's worth $100 million when it's not, to peacock to the street.
That could be a thing, sure.
Because if you look at how stupid that is, that's one of the stupidest data thefts found out who it is, found the data, that I've ever heard in my life.
Even worse, they booked him on a bond of $50,000 and raised it to $150,000. The thing that I don't get here is sure, he may have had the means, he may have had the weapon, which is a micro SD card.
Uh-huh.
What was his motive? Is he selling that? I mean,
well, so that's what they said. They don't know.
It's an LED company. Is there? LED is almost
competitive, especially in
LEDs.
China.
It's almost commodity now, though. It's worth what's worth $100 million in the LED market today.
We make LED strips for people at Burning Man,
right? Blue toilets when you got to pee in the middle of the night,
no red, so it doesn't fuck up your night vision.
Randy,
9/18/24.
But hey. Who's still got Movie Pass?
That's my first one.
Does anyone have Movie
I'm sorry,
Pass?
but I want to segue off something you said earlier, which was not being able to afford the D. I just want to mention this real quick. Everybody should go take a look at the Detroit Clothing Circle graphic. I don't know who came up with that. I don't know if it was the marketing team from Dr. Pepper that released the I Heart DP T-shirts.
Yeah, I love those.
But for the love of God, it's Detroit. Yeah. Detroit Clothing Circle. That's their page on Facebook. Just go take a look at their post with their graphic for their upcoming sale, and then tell me what you think of.
I love one of the comments that says that's inappropriate.
Glad you get that one in, Dave.
I had to.
Yeah. So does anyone besides Darshan still have a Movie Pass subscription?
I think a few people do.
Didn't he roll out of a car?
No, that was Brad, and we should actually talk about Michigan Comic Con. But yeah,
Movie Pass. No, I don't have a Movie Pass subscription.
No, but apparently, we've been following the story. First, it was $9.95 for unlimited,
which was a really cool idea.
Yeah, but
we
then
wondered how they were going to make it work.
The movie theaters hated it, and it didn't work financially, so they upped it to $20.
Well, they were hoping for the movie theaters to go, oh, we're getting all this increased revenue. Perhaps we should kick some back to this other company that we're not affiliated with and don't own in any capacity whatsoever. Duh.
They're buying more popcorn.
But now apparently, if you try to cancel, then you try to take a look back at the site, it re-enrolls you.
No. So it's if you've canceled and then you reopen up the app, it does show you a screen that says, hey, there's this new plan, blah 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 blah. We're getting rid of this restriction, that restriction, whatever. If go ahead and click I accept if you want to do it,
which is the only button on
the only button on the screen. Well, as soon as you click I accept, that cancels your because now you've opted into a new plan.
Right, so Twitter went nuts going, hey, I canceled Movie Pass 2 weeks ago, and it didn't cancel. Now I'm active again, unbeknownst to me, and went to cancel again.
Right.
The other harebrained thing they just did is now they're limiting your choice of movies. So you can't see any movie you want. You get to choose from 6 that they offer up inside the app.
And not every movie is each day. So
you can't see Star Wars on opening night type of thing.
Or if you wanted to go see Crazy Rich Asians today, you couldn't, but tomorrow you could.
And you might not get the showtime you want. They're limiting showtimes too.
I don't know what's worse, that.
Why bother?
No, what's worse, that or Comcast is pissing me off with their on demand. We always rent first run movies that I didn't feel like going to theater. And now I have to sit and stare at the screen where it says buy for 3 weeks until it comes up rent. So Super Troopers 2, I wanted to see.
Oh, it's so funny.
It was the option was buy only. We rent 2 movies a month, whatever comes out that I wanted to see. It was buy only. Right now, Deadpool 2 is staring at me. Buy only. $20 to buy. And then in about 2 or 3 weeks, it'll open up to rent or buy.
Right. Well, I'm sure some of that is the agreement they have with the theaters, no? Or with the movie companies.
Just started being a thing maybe 6 months ago, because as soon as it hit on-demand Comcast, you could rent it. And now it's doing this buy-only thing. So someone's conspiring to, and I don't want it on my Comcast hard drive. I'm going to buy something. I'm going to get the DVD from Amazon or Best Buy.
Right.
Give me a break.
But serious, wait for it. See Super Troopers 2. I haven't laughed that hard in a
But
long
hey,
time.
this whole Movie Pass kerfluffle.
No second L, but whatever.
Kerfuffle.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes. This whole Movie Pass kerfuffle is apparently doing great business for AMC's subscription
new app.
pass. Yep. $20 a month, you get to see 3 movies a week.
Would
You
you
get
like
to see the 3D.
And it's 3D, IMAX,
all the
D-Box,
special
everything.
It's like $12 or $15 a piece, right?
Yep.
So as long as you see 2 a month, you're making your quota.
See, I'm a pro AMC team right now because you get to butter your own popcorn. You don't get
Is that a euphemism?
Yeah, you don't get to upcharge $1 more for real popcorn, or real butter.
And AMC has freestyle, so you can mix all your Coca-Cola flavors you want.
Would you like a hot dog? Yes. Would you like it real meat for $1 more? I don't know what that means.
Can you get a real meat hot dog? Like, how does that work?
The kosher ones.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
So last week, I think one of my favorite conversations was talking with Caston, how like everything's going to change regarding zero trust and not necessarily from a user perspective, but from a management perspective,
Systems and management,
and how people run security. And this is really interesting, and I want to get your takes on it because I got takes. But like with the introduction, the article came out on CNBC.
Are they hot takes, Bob?
Yeah, no. Hot cakes. I had those at Waffle House in Orlando. The way you get TV and internet at home is about to change.
Yeah, with 5G.
5G. So it's rolling out, not yet, but I think it's being rolled out in the next few months in certain
4 cities. Yep.
Yeah, certain cities. But what 4G does, it gives you over-the-air broadband. 5 cities. Thank you, Randy.
No, 5G.
5G, right. Well, what did I say?
You said 4G.
Oh, I'm sorry. What 5G is it basically gives you faster than broadband speeds over the air.
Right.
So now it's looking at, so you don't need that fiber to the home drop. You don't need that coax cable in your house.
You don't have to wait for the cable guy to show up somewhere between
Don't
the
have
hours
to
of
wait.
8 and 5 p.m.
Don't have to wait for the cable guy to show up because it's going to be
between Monday and Thursday between 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. Yeah.
Well, basically over the air. So, I mean, there's going to be literally broadband.
But
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
But here's the part I don't like about it. So, I mean, the story focused on Verizon. And Verizon apparently is only going to roll this out with Apple TV boxes.
So basically, they send you a wireless modem and an Apple TV.
Yep.
And bam, you're set.
Yeah, an Apple TV box. Yeah.
If you don't like the Apple TV, you can plug your own thing in, can't you?
I don't know.
It didn't say that. So that's why Skeptical Dave is skeptical.
But 5G is more than just TV, right? Though 5G is like blazing fast wireless internet.
And this is all data too. It's
right.
There
It's
is no
all IPTV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like it comes with, streaming services. It comes with this and all that, which let's be honest, most of us already using.
Yeah, it'll give you YouTube TV.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, it's a thing. No, I like it. I mean, it's other than the whole Apple TV thing only. I mean, if it is open to other devices, then sweet. I'm all in. Let's go.
I don't see why it wouldn't be. I mean, that's the one they give you in the bundle, but have to use it.
Here's an interesting conversation. I don't care about getting my Netflix and all that at home and my gaming. Think about what this is going to do for the smart car, being that we're in Detroit. Now that 5G is a thing, their biggest problem was how do I get data up and over into our stuff?
Yeah, true.
I don't know if smart cars ever needed that much data, right? Could they have done it over 4G?
LiDAR is
or?
not that heavy.
Oh. And then will 5G be blankety just like 4G is?
I don't know.
That's pretty like fixed point kind of. I don't know.
I don't know the architecture of it. I'd love to.
How they used to do with the Zing stuff. Yeah.
No, like I said, I don't know the architecture. I don't know what it looks like if it's mesh or if they're just replacing 4G with 5G in all the towers. Because right now there's not many areas in the U.S. where I'm not getting data. I'll be honest.
You're also still going to want like your home router because otherwise, how are you going to know which devices are yours on your network? Like you can't, log into your video camera, right? Because it's not. You don't know it's not on your network. So
I don't know
to still route. I think
no. They still give you a home like your cable modem. Not cable. They still give you a modem, which is your Wi-Fi router. But I'm still going to want to have my Eero hooked up and running through my house because
I'm just saying this because I've seen like talk of TVs with built-in 5G receivers and things like that. So I don't know why you would want that.
Yeah.
Unless it's the only device in your house.
Unless they're going, are they securing it via MAC address now? Like again, that's a lot of questions for.
Yeah, how's it actually going to look when it rolls out?
Yeah, because if it's just all the things are on all the things, well, I kind of don't want all my things on all the things.
Yeah, that's dude. I've got 2 different wireless networks in my house for that reason. Hey, so just doubling back real quick, we didn't talk about Michigan Comic-Con, which we were at all weekend. Had a phenomenal time, great first time show. Crowd was great. People that were dropping by the booth were great. Panels were great.
Well, it's the first time a con's been at Cobo Hall in years. Is it 15 or is it 10? Somewhere around that line. And so people didn't know, and everybody said something was missing, but Cobo Hall is just so utterly massive.
Yep.
It's huge, and they took up one hall. And I'm not going to lie. I liked everything I had, and here's the thing. They did it smart. They didn't go all out and bring in Patrick Stewart.
No,
they didn't go all out Captain Kirk.
Scheduled shit 24 hours a day. They didn't try to overreach, which is what the death of a lot of first year cons
and they put creators and artists like in the front and center. Tried to make it about, and that's the thing someone was complaining about. It's not about comic books anymore. And
the first 200 feet of that hall, if not more,
art.
Was comic book.
Right.
It was comic book vendors and artists.
Well, and
that's all it was.
My argument was you can go on eBay or online or anywhere and get that hard to find comic book. Mm-hmm. You can't meet Cary Elwes or the dwarf from Lord of the Rings or Uhura from Star Trek.
Well, no,
so the part of that draw it's the pop culture part because that's the part you can't have.
Right.
There was their toys, pop vinyls, you get them anywhere. But I did, the two things I saw there's some rare to find stuff. There was a Slave Leia, $1,000. And I looked I looked online. Yeah. They're going from 600 to 1,800 online. I'm like, that's legit. Oh my God. Yeah. Then we saw a pop vinyl, $180. If you're a wrestling fan, me and Mikey saw CM Punk.
Oh, really?
And it released like a week before he quit. And it's WWE.
Oh.
And he goes, yeah, 180. And we're like, yeah. He goes, man, it was limited run there because we had 2 boxes of them. We put them away for 2 years and, like smart.
Right.
But no,
speculators.
Good con. Everybody was awesome.
It was great. It was, and honestly, it was. I mean, it was great to see a con down at Kobo. I think we all wish, the bars the bars in Kobo would have stayed open later. Because like the bars shut down at 7 when there were still panels and stuff going on. Till
Anchor Bar was open.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, I assure you, we found a bar to go to. I mean, duh, it's us. But yeah, no, great con. Hats off to the guys that did it. It was very, very cool. Check them out.
Absolutely. Dumbest lawsuit of the week goes to U.S. entrepreneur and cryptocurrency inventor Michael Turpin.
I don't know if I'm gonna agree this is the dumbest.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Let's keep. No, it's not coffee on crotch. 50 million. But basically, he filed a $224 million lawsuit against AT&T, accusing it of fraud and gross negligence, basically with the theft of digital currency tokens from his personal account. Basically, the tokens were stolen from him, was digital identity theft of his cell phone account, and AT&T was his service provider. So here's where I think it's stupid because AT&T is not beholden to secure your data. They're just not.
Well, but that's not exactly what happened. So what happened is that his phone number was given over to an international hacking group, which then used SIM fraud to basically say, yes, this verifies that this is who the identity of this person is.
It's identity theft.
Right.
Well, basically they call up and say, hey, I've got a new SIM card. Please transfer my service over to it. So now AT&T basically failed, in my opinion, to secure his account, giving access to his account to a third party who then screwed him over royally because now they had his 2-factor authentication codes by SMS. So AT&T screwed up. They did not do what they needed to do, in my opinion, to protect his account. I watched a video last week where a woman said, hey, to a security researcher, she's like, I'm going to social engineer your account and we'll take all of 3 minutes. So she calls up Verizon, puts on the sound of a baby crying in the background and says, yeah, my husband forgot. I'm so sorry. He forgot to put me on the account. Oh, I'm not on the account. Can you go ahead and fix this? All she was going to do was get his address or his email address.
Right.
But then the stretch goal was now she was on her account and she changed the password to his account all by social engineering that rep. So it's very real.
So if I got $224 million in Bitcoin, I'm not going to have it accessible via my cell phone?
You shouldn't do it via SMS. You should do it by an app like Google Authenticator or
Coinbase.
One of these folks that has a 2-factor authentication code that's not SMS. Because SMS is not guaranteed to be safe.
God, how crazy. What a learning experience.
So I don't think that's a dumb lawsuit at all. I think he's totally right for holding the fire for Scream.
If they gave it similar, initially I thought it was just identity theft and he had his stuff accessible by a phone.
He was targeted. Absolutely targeted, and they just basically
he's got to keep his mouth shut at the bar, man.
Yeah, exactly. Stop trying to impress girls with your cryptocurrency,
right? Because they're not hacking my ass for my $700 in Litecoin,
Ethereum,
right?
It's not a Litecoin. Anyway.
Yeah, I got $700 in Litecoin. You want to hack my phone? Yeah, have a good time. Have a good time with that.
Speaking of hacking, I thought it was really interesting about the kid down in Australia.
Yes,
that went after Apple. Do y'all hear the story?
That was amazing.
16 years old.
Yeah, so basically he attends high school in Melbourne, and he somehow hacked Apple's. The article said mainframe, and I had to laugh because I'm not sure anybody runs mainframe anymore. But downloaded, was it 90
gigs
gigabytes
of data.
And he stored it in a file folder on his computer, called Hackety Hack Hack.
Hacky Hack Hack, yep.
And here's the funniest line of this. He's now facing criminal charges after the FBI busted him. It's like, no, you're going to get hired very quickly.
Yeah.
If I learned anything from Can't Catch Me Now or whatever, Frank Abagnale Jr., like you're going to get a cushy job for the rest of your life.
Pretty much. Well, and I mean, it's one of those things where, so that, Apple was, supposed to be hack proof. And apparently he had full access to everything for over a year.
But like, because he's such a fan of the company, which is such ridiculous, like, I'm just going to take all their files because I'm such a big fan.
Well, dude, again, wow, 2 Mitnick references in one show. That was him. Like, he wanted to understand. He just wanted to know more about digital's operating system. It had, it wasn't malicious. It wasn't any of that stuff. He never distributed the source code. He never did any of that stuff. He just downloaded it so he could learn it better.
And he pled guilty.
Yeah.
What's really interesting is what is in those 90 gigs of files he downloaded. That's a lot.
It's basically Samsung stuff from 2 years ago with a white cover on it or a silver cover on it.
Nice.
Did I say that out loud?
Totally.
Randy, you watched Disenchantment? I missed it.
I did. I watched all 10 episodes this weekend.
Facebook has been a buzz about, the new Simpsons.
I'll watch more.
Matt Groening.
Yeah, Matt Groening's new fantasy cartoon.
It's medieval, right?
Yeah, medieval fantasy cartoon. So in the style of where Futurama's set in the future, far future, this is a fantasy. They've got elves and fairies and things like that.
Everything I saw was a collective thumbs down. What did you?
So you know how first there was Family Guy, and then there was American Dad, and then there was the
Yeah.
Cleveland Show?
Yeah.
Disenchantment is like the Cleveland Show.
Oh.
So there's a bunch of funny jokes, but I think overall it's
You're
rough
milking
around
the
edges, yeah.
Peter,
So
yeah.
I'll give the next season a shot. This season wasn't enough to make me not watch it again, but I think it could have been better.
It's like one of those things where I want to like it. Like I wouldn't, I'm real weird about this stuff. Like I wouldn't give Futurama a chance because The Simpsons. I wouldn't give SpongeBob a chance because it was too much like Ren and Stimpy to me. Like if it's too much, like I've never watched one episode of American Dad or Cleveland Show, not one, because of that.
Yeah.
American Dad's actually pretty great.
Yeah.
It has
And
its
so is
moments.
Futurama.
That's what I hear from everyone. I just never did it. You know,
Futurama is the standard to which all other things should be held.
But hey, so yeah, what Netflix 10 episodes?
Netflix 10 episodes. They're 20 minutes, and it's very serial. It's not episodic. So it's one big long story arc. So it's got that going for it, which is different from most cartoons.
So it's binge inducing, which is nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're gonna beat a dead horse right now, but like the article came on the Free Press basically that car makers are struggling to hire.
It ties into what you were just talking about.
To hire hackers. Right now it could not be a hotter job in their industry because they want to know how they can get their shit can get broke.
Yep.
And they just can't hire people. They're hacking into Wi-Fi. They're not hacking into the actual cars. People are jamming brakes. People are, doing everything they possibly can.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all things being equal, it's not that hard to tap into a car system.
I mean, the scariest thing the guy says is hypothetically, I could make a running engine turn off, and that's I'll just stop right there.
Yeah.
What I thought was really interesting about the article, though, is it was complaining about the high cost of engineering talent as a reason for why they don't have enough. And then it cited that the average autonomous vehicle employee as an engineer makes $89,000 a year in Michigan. I'm like, hey, boo, go out to California. I guarantee Waymo pays more.
Yep.
And so does Apple. So really,
Cost of living way.
Yeah, I was gonna
way
say
higher out there too.
Go rent in San Francisco these days.
That's true, but
if you and your 8 roommates can make it work, then
I only have 5.
No,
Randy.
I mean if you move to San Francisco, you're gonna not be able to live by yourself for sure.
All right, so wrap.
No,
break.
dumbest article of the week.
Okay.
This is from my friend Nuria. It's sitting over to the left of me, and so the hotness has been, boo hoo, Facebook's deleting my shit and Twitter's deleting my shit. Well, House Majority Leader. So if we learned anything from the Facebook trials, was that politicians know two things about technology: jack and shit.
Yes.
I was
could
really
not
impressed
be
with some of them though. Some of their questions were really.
They got
insightful.
fed by interns. Those were not theirs.
There was an earpiece.
So House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy basically looked at his Twitter and said, there's a tweet from Laura Ingraham, which is a show host, and said this tweet is not available because it includes potentially sensitive content. So he goes on a rant how they're targeting, they're censoring my stuff,
They're blocking GOP people,
took our Twitter. And then somebody pointed out to him, like, you made that setting in your Twitter to block sensitive content.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
That tweet is still up. I am really, really surprised that he hasn't deleted, but I think he probably hasn't figured out how to delete it yet.
He hasn't figured out how to change the settings. No, he hasn't figured out how to
Even
delete
tweeted
the
at the
tweet
guy the Jack Dorsey, the
Yeah.
CEO of Twitter. He's like, Jack, easy fix. Explain to Congress what's going on.
Oh, and it was demanding that things get changed.
Hashtag stop the bias.
No, and the one thing, Neri, we had an argument about before we started the show
Really wasn't
was
an argument, but-
no, not that argument. This argument was the company that is embedding microchips in
3 Square Market
arms of employees. And
it's the little web between the thumb and forefinger. Yeah.
Right,
A little passive RFID. We had a guy come out from a mall from Dangerous Things out of Chicago and actually live implanted RFIDs in people at PinguaCon who wanted to sign up.
I remember that.
There's a whole lot of nope going on from this side of the table.
What's wrong with an RFID, Bob?
I want no part of it. There's no reason. So here's the thing. When I go pay for something at a store and getting my wallet out of my back pocket and sticking a credit card or a piece of cash it's not inconvenient to me.
I use Apple Pay. Same thing. It's basically poop and it's done.
It's not either way. It's not inconvenient to me.
Not at all.
I'm not using the McDonald's app.
Not once have
and I'm not having an RFID chip implanted in my phone.
The F do you have 3 dedicated McDonald's drive-through
Parking
pickup
spots? Yeah.
Has anyone ever used those?
I don't think so.
Oh, dude, I've seen people sitting on them.
When does the drive-through become inconvenient?
Dude, you can now have Grubhub and Uber Eats deliver McDonald's to you.
Oh, I saw it in Orlando.
The one on Livernois delivers to me, and I'm like, absolutely not.
No.
Well, now that McDonald's is cooking your burger fresh to order from non-frozen beef, maybe it takes longer. And
Select products only and select markets only.
I refuse.
Cold fries blow ass. But here's the thing. I've never once.
I feel like that should be a bumper sticker.
Or isolate that.
But I've never once bought anything going, this 7-Eleven transaction or this coffee and Slim Jim. So inconvenient.
Taking way too long.
This $10 bill handing getting a $5 bill back in 50 cents. No, I don't want any to. I should get a microchip implanted in my hand so I can just wave. And they're like, now it's just a way of life. All the employees are like, I don't even need my password key anymore. I just wave. We're all just waving. Like,
I agree that this is not a good use case for this.
This is how liberty dies.
With thunderous applause. It's great. I don't have to. My wallet. It's so hard to bend over and grab my wallet with my money. Like, people, seriously, is this what it's come down to?
Yes, clearly.
Are you that? I'm one of the laziest people you've ever encountered in your life.
I'm not arguing.
I wait for my kid to come downstairs, then I ask her for things. So I don't have to get up. If I could pee in my chair, I totally would sometimes. But I would never get a microchip implanted.
No.
I give money, buy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Or insert card. It's not
right.
Yeah, it's not
swipe. Swipe.
No, not that hard.
It's just a part of my routine, though.
At Meijer, I got to input my number in my coupon. M-Perks.
But
and
maybe the RFID chip could have that, Bob.
But I won't take bottles back. I'll throw them away. But I'll do the M-Perks. See?
I was going to say, my phone knows when I'm at Meijer. It just pops up the barcode on my screen. I tap it, swipe, and I'm good to go. I don't have to type in my phone number.
Hey, I hate that they know everything about us.
It's a location.
But we say it's easy. It pops up. I don't have to open the app.
Right, don't track me, but don't you track my GPS.
I don't need to open an app. It's amazing. They track me. But hey.
Speaking of tracking us, maybe?
Who?
No, it's a bad segue.
Oh. Speaking of tracking us, we're going to be talking.
You know what I did when I mentioned? I swear to God, I saw more of those stupid bird scooters than I saw actual birds. downtown this weekend.
They're just dumped on the
Holy shit,
street.
they were just littering the street outside of Kobo.
I wanted to
outside
rent
the
one just so I
hotel.
could dump it somewhere
Dude,
stupid.
You would kill yourself on a goddamn scooter. Let's be honest.
Oh, I see those videos. I want no part of them.
You would die. I wanted to point out I saw more bird scooters than I saw actual birds.
It's the bird challenge, maybe. It's like the fire challenge, except
Flip the bird.
Oh,
So you have to flip the bird.
Apparently, when you go in a group, it's just you go birding together.
I don't give a flock, Randy.
Boo. Hey, we're gonna take. Speaking of flocking, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna be back with a
Randy's
couple.
gonna flock him, or excuse me, Nuri's gonna flock himself.
We're gonna be back with an interview with Kevin J. Anderson. Basically invented the Kessel Run. Basically the Ben Solo
invented
turn.
the Kessel Run. He invented that
Well,
whole sequence that you
right.
see in Solo.
Yeah. But he wrote all that stuff, and no, he's not bitter about anything Disney
No,
did.
it's- yeah, his
or
tone of voice
he
is
loves
amazing.
J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson. But hey, this is the IT and the D show,
and we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hey, this is John Snyder from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, Hot in Cleveland, Secret Life of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. See IT in the D show.
ITinthed.com.
Welcome back, segment 2, episode 261. This is the one and only IT in the D show, fresh off of a weekend at Michigan Comic Con.
I don't know that I would call it fresh.
You guys smell kind of like booze and cigarettes and nerds. I don't know.
A little bit of shame, too. Hanging out here in Studio 1 in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. Bob the Sales Guy, Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG. Find us online, itinthed.com. You know what? Because we are IT in the D.
And you,
and
you're still not, nor will you ever be.
Here was something we were complaining about all weekend, and it's great that this is coming up right now. But here's some advice for anyone.
Showers?
Yeah, that too. Here's some advice for anyone that sends emails to their customers. You deserve a better email marketing platform, one that actually designed with your type of organization in mind. To stop doing drip campaigns marketing, people.
Yeah,
Please. And unlike other email providers, Emma puts its customers first, offering powerful email marketing with a personal touch. With Emma, you'll have everything you need to connect your data, build your audience, and do your most successful marketing ever. Because their easy-to-use platform makes advanced functionality accessible to everyone on your team. No technical skills required. That means I can do it.
So easy, Bob can do it.
And your marketing team can do it. You can even connect Emma with the services you count on to run your business, like Salesforce, Google Analytics.
Nice.
And their award-winning team is all ready to support you on their strategy, design, list migration, and more. Do us a favor. Put the power of email experts behind your marketing. Request a customized demo of Emma's email marketing platform today at myemma.com. That's my Emma, 2 M's. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is a special edition of the one and only IT in the D show.
Often imitated, never duplicated.
Ever. Broadcasting live here on the floor of the first annual Michigan Comic Con.
Kind of cool.
Here at Cobo Hall.
Kind of cooler.
It's kind of awesome.
That's too many K sounds.
Yeah, that voice, what you're listening to, that is a voice of Kevin J. Anderson.
Kevin
That's another
J.
K
Anderson.
sound.
So I just went through, like you watched me go through like a major flashback nerd boy fangasm
Silly
moment.
fanboy moment.
Well, no, and I said, I did. I'm like, there's no way in hell that he's going to remember who I am. I'm like, it's 20 years, it's forever, I'm sure he meets a ton of people.
Well,
And
the restraining order I had to keep renewing. every
exactly.
year.
You must have let it lapse. But no, so, as everybody knows, I used to run EchoStation.com, the Star Wars website. And, back in like 95-ish, wound up at a con out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where a bunch of people from the old Sci-Fi Fantasy Forum on CompuServe decided, hey, let's all get together. Let's all go do this one thing. And off we go. And who's there but Mr. Kevin J. Anderson, who is an author.
I was a mister then.
You were. I mean, you still are. A writer in the Star Wars universe, had a number of books out, and was a great guy to the point where as when I walked up, I said, hey, I know you're never going to remember who I am. I said, but by any chance, do you remember doing the YMCA at a con in Tull? And he, Dave! And I was like, oh my, validation. So how in the hell have you been?
Busy. So I've just, this past year, I did a big tally, and I've done 150 published books.
Wow.
And 56 of them are national and international bestsellers, and I'm in 29 or 30 languages. So I've been a little busy since the 1995 or so.
Well, yes.
I run my own publishing company. I just got a MFA degree, and I'm teaching grad level writing and publishing at a Colorado university. I hike and climb mountains a lot. I keep busy. What else are you going to do, right? And,
well, I mean, so I have to ask the obvious question just because, you know, how I know you in the background. So, like, what's your take on, because when 95, when we got together, you know, the special editions hadn't been released yet. The prequels, certainly had been released yet. So there's been a huge resurgence, you know, from the days when it was just the novels. And of course, Disney has now come along and said, well, none of the EU matters. It's no longer canon and all that fun stuff. So, like, what's your take on everything that's gone on in the Star Wars universe and world, you know, in the past 20 years?
Well, I mean, just a little bit of background. When I started doing Star Wars books I think my first one was out in 1993. So that was Timothy Zahn's first books had just come out. These were the first Star Wars books in forever.
Yeah.
I mean, there just
Heir to the
nothing.
Empire. Yeah.
There was nothing. And in fact, when Bantam Books started publishing those, there was some like head scratching in corporate, like, and you want to do Star Wars books? Why? Does anybody still, what's the Star Wars? I mean, it was like saying, let's do a whole series of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea books or something like that. But, you know, everybody's understood that there was still a really big Star Wars fan base.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with the SSF and Echo Base and all that stuff, there were fans out there, and I was a big fan. And so when they asked me to write 3 sequels to Star Wars, I was, yes, please. So I did those, and in fact, I ended up doing a total of 54 projects for Lucasfilm, whether it's books or comic books and pop-up books, and I edited anthologies, and then because I think, at least partly, of the popularity of those books, it really proved to Lucasfilm and everybody else that there was still a huge Star Wars fandom. And I have to think that had something to do with them finally getting to work on the prequels. And then the prequels came out, and then Star Wars had its big resurgence and kept going. But when Disney bought Lucasfilm and they did Episode 7, The Force Awakens, one of the big things that caused a lot of controversy was that Disney and J.J. Abrams and everybody doing the new movies basically said, well, we want to do a reboot. We're starting from scratch, and taking off for what we think the sequel to Return of the Jedi should be. And there had been, I don't know the exact number, but probably close to like 300 books published. I mean, people grew up.
That fans loved and embraced.
People grew up reading the Young Jedi Knights books I wrote with Rebecca Mesta, the Jedi Academy books, Tim Zahn's Heir to the Empire. People grew up reading this, and this was their Star Wars. This was the Star Wars that they grew up with. And
that hey, you told us was our Star Wars and was part of the universe. Yeah.
And it was the official canon, but then when they rebooted it, they sort of set that aside and said they were going to do something different. Now, the fans kind of had an uproar moment over that. Me personally, I would love that they had made my trilogy into movies, right? But, and again, they own everything.
Royalty check.
We're hired guns. We're work for hire. Whatever we write, just like if I wrote a Spider-Man comic and introduced a new villain, I don't own that villain. Yeah. Marvel owns the villain. So, I mean, that's what you get when you're a writer. You know that you don't own this stuff, but you get to play with the coolest toys ever.
That was the story of Q*bert.
Yeah, the guy that
created Q*bert did it under license of Hasbro. I want to say
Midway, I think. Yeah,
he owns nothing. He makes $0.
Right. Well, and that's I grew up. I didn't grow up. I mean, my job out of college, I spent 13 years as a technical writer for the government, as a research lab. I wrote respirator safety manuals and fire response plans.
Riveting
and stuff.
Work.
Right. Well, I don't own any of that either. I mean, it's not like I made any extra money on my respirator safety manual. Now, so what happened was then Disney and J.J. Abrams, they wanted to start clean, and the fans were very upset that they weren't taking the other stuff. In my heart, I never expected them to. I thought that they were going to do their own direction. Like if you were J.J. Abrams being brought in to do Star Wars Episode 7, and you're like, cool, I just did Star Trek, now I'm going to do Star Wars. And then they go, but there's one other thing, JJ. You have to read 300 books and make sure that your stuff doesn't contradict anything that's
Here's
in
Heir to the
books.
Empire. Make that.
Well, and so I kind of never expected it, but, I would have loved for it to happen. But one of the cool things that they did was that instead of just saying, these don't count anymore, let them go out of print and let them disappear, they just rebranded them as like Earth 2. They're a
Legends,
different universe. They're called Legends. And so I can say, well, my books aren't just good. They're Legends. And I haven't worked in Star Wars for a very long time. And this way I get to go see the movies like a fanboy, like I used to go. I mean, I saw Star Wars in the theater when I was in high school when it came out. I knew absolutely nothing about it other than I was a science fiction nerd and I wanted to see whatever the new science fiction was. And I even remember there were like radio ads on the American Top 40 station where I would listen to the Top 40, Hall & Oates and England Dan and John Ford Coley and all these, whatever the top 40 songs was, because I was whatever it was.
In
sophomore in high
77,
school sophomore in high school, I think. And there was these weird radio ads about the mysterious C-3PO, and then they play like the breathing of Darth Vader, and we're like, I don't even know what any of this is, but that pew, pew, pew sounds kind of interesting. So I remember going, and I'm sitting in the theater in Madison, Wisconsin. It wasn't crowded. It was just a Saturday afternoon science fiction movie. This was the first week or two. This was before Star Wars had become a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And you just have to like blank your mind for a second and get rid of all of your preconceptions, because sitting in the opening scene when the blockade runner goes zipping across the screen, and then the Star Destroyer comes, and it keeps coming, and it fracking keeps coming and keeps coming, and the sound speakers are rumbling, and you're like, holy crap! You've never seen anything like this. And then the other
these
moment,
kids today will never get it.
Well, another moment later on when the Millennium Falcon goes into light speed for the first hyperspace for this first time, when the stars elongate towards you, everybody knows this now, but you got to put yourself, we had never seen that before.
It wasn't
Never, ever, ever. And it just blows your mind. Like, this is the guy that made American Graffiti?
How did they? Here's the thing with me: how it boggles my mind how nothing from Star Wars or it was cheesy or corny. I don't know if it's because of watching it in my youth, but if you think all the goofy names, all the goofy planets, like nothing's
the Mon Calamari.
Yeah, nothing to me ever seemed corny or pushed like stupid.
I mean, the fish creature's named calamari is a little, it's a little on the nose.
But that didn't mean anything to me when I watched it. Well, they're the Mon Calamari, right? Like the Squid Man, right?
Yeah.
And not Dr. Zoidberg or anything.
Right.
But the whole, the cantina scene, if you watch the original cantina scene now, they're like little puppets on heads. They're not even that great. But boy, it didn't make any difference to us. That
Turn the lights down, smoke in the room. Yeah, it would look brilliant.
Looked fine. And so that really, like, as a science fiction nerd, that gave us all legitimacy, because we were the kids with the bad haircuts and bad glasses, and we got wedgies from the smokers in the back, and we were the weird people that read comics and stuff like that. But Star Wars suddenly made science fiction mainstream and cool. And there were a lot of people that got dates because of Star Wars, I think. Not me, but I think a lot of other people
But
did.
I heard it happen.
Yes.
So fill me in. What direction did your trilogy go, your sequels?
So what I did was basically
Death Stars.
Luke,
Lots and lots of Death Stars.
Lots of Death Stars. Well, one Death Star. Luke Skywalker trains in the new Jedi Knights, and he has a Jedi Academy, and he trains new Jedi Knights, and one goes bad and kills a bunch of the other ones, and that's the movie.
But so you remember, like, when I was talking about when we walked out of the last one, and I was saying, there's the books that talk about Luke and his Jedi Academy and all that kind of stuff.
But the Kessel Run and the Black Hole Cluster and the Maw, that's all in the Solo movie, which is from mine. Well, not mine. I wrote it, but it's Lucasfilms. There's no sour grapes. I don't want there to be any implication. It's work for hire. I mean, that is, to me, when they did the special editions and they used, I did an art book with Ralph McQuarrie called The Illustrated Star Wars Universe.
Got it.
And they digitized in a bunch of the artwork that we put into that book. And As a fanboy,
Yeah,
that's just
Dorman
cool.
and McQuarrie are still
Yeah.
my two faves.
And then but the Star Wars books that I did kind of catapulted my writing career, because then because of the Star Wars books, Chris Carter at the X-Files read them and liked them and asked me to write X-Files books for him. DC Comics asked me to write some Batman and Superman novels, and I'm working with Brian Herbert, the son of Frank Herbert. We've done 14 Dune novels, and there's some real good work going on, maybe making a new feature film out of Dune that we're both working on. And so there's that. Plus, I wrote a bunch of my own novels. I run my own publishing house called Wordfire Press.
Well, yes, that's where I was going to go. Is like, so okay. Enough with the good old days and all that kind of stuff. What is Kevin J. Anderson
when I
doing?
was a young whippersnapper.
What are you doing? Like, what's now like for you? Like, what are some of the books that people should be looking for? What should they expect from them? That sort of thing.
Well, I mean, I wrote a big science fiction series called The Saga of Seven Sons, which is like my best-selling thing other than the Star Wars and stuff. Saga of Seven Sons, and that's a big epic space opera, sort of like Game of Thrones with planets and lots of alien races and space battles and everything. I like to joke that unlike Game of Thrones, I finished mine, so it's out there, and you can actually read the whole series instead of
You'll get
just waiting
closure.
for the other one. I have this I just love this. It's a series called Dan Shamble Zombie PI, and it's like Spaceballs.
I want to say I know about
it's
that
the
one.
Walking
Yeah.
Dead for Spaceballs. I mean, it's really goofy. He solves crimes with ghosts and mummies and werewolves, and his partner is a bleeding heart human lawyer who wants justice for the monsters, and his best friend his best human friend is a politically incorrect cop who basically got kicked to the monster precinct because nobody could stand his jokes. But you can make you can make racist jokes about monsters and not get in trouble for
Right.
it. So that whole series, and we've just optioned that for a TV show. And I did a couple of books with Neil Peart, the drummer from Rush, Clockwork Angels and Clockwork Lives, which are all spun off of the last Rush album, which was a steampunk concept album. So we did that. The graphic novel version of Clockwork Lives just came out last month. The publishing house, Wordfire Press, is what's really interesting, and like this is Armageddon in my industry, but to a lot of your listeners, I don't know if it's even pitches their radar, but our entire publishing industry is kind of like a gigantic industry that's like Blockbuster Video, and we're now like, all the bookstores are closing down, print books aren't selling nearly as much, but ebooks are taking off, but we don't know how to sell ebooks, and what do we do with them? What used to happen, I go back to the when I was a whippersnapper kind of thing, that I wrote lots of books. And when the book would come out for like a year or so, and then it would go out of print, and you couldn't find it anymore.
Yeah.
And like I got a lot of my early books, but once I published Star Wars books and I had millions of copies in print, then my fans wanted the old books, but there weren't any.
Yeah.
And so they would haunt used bookstores and things. Well, I got all the rights back to those, so I started republishing them myself under my own imprint, and they're taken off. I mean, people are just and the ebook, once you format the ebook and load it up on Amazon, I don't have to have a warehouse, and I don't have to have trucks driving at places, but you need to call attention to it because everybody who can type thinks they can publish a book.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of noise. Fortunately, I've got a name that people know, or at least my 12 fans know it, and they'll look it up and they can.
The 11 others and I get together every now and then. Yeah.
So that's done fairly well for us, and I picked up a lot of other authors. We've now published, I think, 284 titles from 128 authors.
Wow.
So we keep busy with that. We do them in print and in ebook, but it's mostly an online thing. And I mean, don't walk into a Barnes & Noble and expect to find a pile of our books.
Right.
Because that's frankly not a very good business model for small publishers, because you have to pay to print all of those, and you have to pay to ship all of those.
And then they got to sit there.
And then if they don't sell, then they return them for full credit, and you have to eat all that cost. And so it's much better that if somebody orders a book, we print one and send it to them.
Yeah, do it on demand.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
And we're right here at Michigan Comic Con, and this is a very slow year for me. We've only done 6 of these shows, and 2 years ago I did 22 shows in 1 year.
Yikes.
We have it's called the Bard's Tower, big banners. We have lots of other authors who are here signing autographs.
Yeah, I saw Jody Lynn Nye's here.
Jody Lynn Nye, in fact, we'll probably get her to come over and do a podcast with you. We've had R.A. Salvatore, Brandon Sanderson, Christopher Paolini, other people, Jim Butcher, who are just our guest authors at the booth. Comic-Cons are also something fairly new in the past. Well, they're not brand new, but the past 7-8 years or
they've
so,
started resurging.
Really taken off. And it's like a pop culture mecca.
Mm-hmm.
You can all come here and see all kinds of people in costumes, and they got weird collectible stuff and posters, and we're looking over right now at Ray Park, the guy who played Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace. He's here signing autographs, and Carrie Elways, the guy from The Princess Bride, he's here. In fact, he must be cloned. He's like at every show that I go to. So
he was just here in Royal Oak at the Royal Oak Music Theater doing a book signing and stuff a couple months ago. I've got a Dread Pirate Roberts hockey jersey that I wore, and he was like, "Where'd you get? What? I didn't get any money from that."
So there's a lot of this stuff, but like the convention that we met at back in 1995, those were a whole different animal. They had maybe 500 to 1,000 people at it. But it was like a I don't mean this in a bad way, like an old boys club, a little group of fans, that they would get together and they wanted to put it on, and you would kind of hang out with everybody in the bar
Matt
at
Hart
night.
Was the guy that lived there. That was one of the people organizing it. And he was one of our, and he literally knew everybody there.
Right. Well, and that they're now called like Relaxicon. So I still go to some of those where it's nice because those are your real core fans. They're that the people here walking around. A lot of them have never heard of me, or they've only read 1 or 2 books, or they've just seen the Dune movie and they've never read the book. But that's okay. I think I read were like 30,000 people or something expected at this one. It's the ballpark at least. So these. Again, I'll go back to before Star Wars came out. There was no future in being a nerd. I mean, you would not get dates. You had to be. It's like you had to hide.
Yeah.
And you had to hide your comic books that you read. But now it's a cool part of the culture because we all grew up and now we're the bosses of all the people who picked on us.
Exactly.
Well, that's why I say you can't remake Revenge of the Nerds today because they've won.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like, well, no. Everybody likes that kind of stuff.
Right.
Nobody. I mean,
there'd be no context for it anymore.
No, zero.
Well, and in fact, this kind of spins off because they just rebooted the X-Files last year or so, and I loved the X-Files. Well, I worked for them, but I watched every single episode several times, and it was so fascinating and so intriguing. And I watched the new version, and I just went, well, every conspiracy that Mulder has is just a stupid meme on Facebook now.
That's so funny because I had that same thought.
The whole concept that made X-Files cool, that there were all these weird conspiracies we didn't know about, is just become
saw that one on Reddit.
In a pizza parlor in the basement that doesn't have a basement, really? And you believe this? You believe this? And you don't vote because of that? You don't believe this? Yeah, okay. You're smoking too many vapor trails in the sky there. So
right, it's all contrails, man, contrails. All right, so where do we find you online? I want to make sure we get the plugs and all that stuff so people can find you.
My Twitter account is the word "the" and my initials, the KJA. And I have the official Kevin J. Anderson Facebook page, which shouldn't be hard to find. And my own website is Wordfire, WORDFIRE, wordfire.com.
Yep.
And in fact, if you go there, I've got a little readers group that you can find out what I'm doing, and you get to download one of my books for free and some of the Dan Shamble zombie PI stories. And I will let you know that I was just at the Detroit, Michigan Comic Con.
I'd say you'd probably want to check those out, but you don't read.
I don't read.
Well, we do have audiobooks. So
perfect.
Kevin, thank you so much for sitting down with us. That was amazing. It was really fun to catch up, and like I said, a little nerd validation that you remembered who I was.
I'm glad that we didn't have to sing YMCA again.
No, I won't make you do that.
I got to do this because at one of these shows, you see a lot of different celebrities. I had lunch with the cowboy from the Village People.
There you go.
And I told him about our YMCA thing. I did. So.
That's amazing. All right, so hey, check us out, Bob.
Yeah, Kevin J. Anderson, appreciate the time. We're here live at the Michigan Comic-Con. This is the IT and the D Show.
Hey, we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hey guys, it's Ty Mogg, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the IT&D Show.
ITinthed.com.
Welcome back, episode 261. This is segment 3 of the IT in the D Show. Hanging out here in Studio 1 in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan.
That's right, we said it.
We got a place in Detroit. Enough already. It's Bob the Sales Guy. That's Dave the Geek. Neri the FNG's in the house. Randy, I do the Twitters. Walker is somewhere doing the Twitters. Find us online, itinthed.com, where you will find all the things. We actually wrote a few new blogs. A couple Don't Be That Guys, How Not to Suck At.
I think there's 3 out live as of today. There will be one more going live tomorrow, which is a result of, well, I won't say it's a result of our experience at Michigan Comic-Con, because it's not. It's a result of the culmination of all of our Comic-Con experiences.
No, it's more tech trade show
and it's
focused.
How Not to Suck. No. Yours, that one's already live.
Oh, yeah, all right.
This one is the How Not to Suck at going to a Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah. So if you followed us for any time, we've been in an absolute writing rut, and we blew out like 5 blogs while we were at Michigan Comic-Con. It was actually kind of glorious writing. But yeah, do us a favor.
We got no work done. Oh, by the way, in case you missed the memo, we're going to be speaking at TEDx Detroit. We got no work done on that talk, but we got all the blog entries done.
the important stuff. Do us a favor, though. Give us a like on the socials and subscribe to us everywhere fine podcasts are sold.
Hey, so before we get rolling, if you're like most people, you use your personal number for work, or even worse, you have to carry 2 phones. I don't even know if you've had to deal with that pain and suffering before.
My iPhone's in my left pocket and my iPhone's in my right pocket.
Oh my God, it's horrid. So Sideline gives you a second number so work and personal communication can finally live on one device. With the
Every doctor everywhere in the U.S. is cheering.
Oh,
glee.
Dude,
every IT person?
I am.
Yes.
We are the sales number, the contact us number that's on the doors at, the studios here and the one downtown. That's that number. That's Sideline.
Well, I've heard that ring, and I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, you actually did. You were like, what the hell? That's somebody called the studio line. So what it does, with the Sideline app, it's easy to add a second number to your smartphone so you can separate work and personal numbers. Sideline lets you own a dedicated business number so you can know when calls are for work or personal. You can even text with clients or customers and automate text whenever you're busy. You can look more professional while keeping your personal number private with Sideline. I'm not going to lie. I really love that feature, because I'm okay with clients having a way to contact me. I also like being able to turn it off and then not having my cell phone number as it is. So Sideline comes with calling, texting, picture messaging, and more, giving you all the value of another phone for a fraction of the price, and it is super cheap already. So whether you're a small business owner or just someone who likes to stay organized, check out the Sideline app today. Now, right now, IT and the D listeners can download Sideline for iPhone or Android. Sorry, Mike Dennis, there's no Windows Phone app, for a free 7-day trial. Or you can learn more at sideline.com/trial. That's Sideline, SIDELINE.com/trial. And thanks for the support, guys. Really do love your product.
Appreciate it. Welcome back for a special edition of the IT in the D Show. We're hanging out live on the floor.
That's the information technology in the Detroit show.
For those keeping score at home, we are on the floor at the Michigan Comic-Con, the very first annual, here at Cobo Hall. Bob the Sales Guy hanging out with Dave the Geek. Special guest, Erick Gutierrez, comic book artist extraordinaire.
That's Erick Gutierrez.
Okay, who's currently trying to convince us that Latinos do not all eat cheese.
Eat cheese?
Cheese.
Cheese. Ches.
We just had a half an hour riveting conversation regarding how on the Food Network, no one can just say enchilada. You have to say enchiladas.
Enchiladas.
Well, it's you gotta be proud of your cultural words. Is that right? Does that sound right? No?
I told you that.
Really? You don't hear? Hey, you know what? I'm gonna have a sub, and could you put a little mayonnaise on that?
I told you the Germans don't say bratwurst every time.
Achtung! Achtung!
So hey, this is first year at this con. What you've been to more cons than any of us put together. What's your thoughts?
Well, this is the first one. I'm glad actually that they're doing a con in Detroit proper again, because it was.
That's what we were saying. Motor City. This is the move they should have made 5-10 years ago.
Well, I'm just glad that there's something going on in Cobo, which is a perfect spot. You know what I mean? So hopefully this will be, so far it seems to be a lot of traffic.
Seems pretty well, pretty well trafficked.
First year, so, so far so good. So hopefully, it'll be successful and we'll have more and that'll be cool,
Yeah, I mean, once people know that this is a thing and hopefully this becomes a permanent fixture.
Yeah.
And it's not just a one-off. Hopefully the company behind it, got a good return. I mean, that's at the end of the day, it's a business, right?
Right. Yeah, bottom line is hope it's successful for everybody. Not just the showrunners, but the artists, you guys, everybody involved in the show. Hopefully, it'll be a good thing.
Well, dude, these things got expensive. Dave and I reminisce once in a while when we started going to cons 10 years ago, 15 years ago. You'd come in with $200.
Yeah.
Basically, you'd
Park,
get 5
admission.
Yeah.
5 autographs.
5 autographs was $100, and then maybe you bought like a couple toys.
Yeah.
Or a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I mean, just to get like, $100 just to get an autograph and a picture with one of your favorite stars.
I know. Yeah.
And
that's the thing. It's the celebrity aspect. It's gotten more, out of
It's
control.
like we laughed, wasn't Lou Ferrigno like the first one we saw that wanted $40 for an autograph?
I was like, $40
and then $60 for an autograph. Like, dude, come on.
Now it's everybody.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Like,
Well, here's the thing. Here's my take. And tell me if you think I'm wrong. Like 15 years ago, you went to Comic-Cons to find that hard-to-find book or to meet that, buy artist stuff you couldn't see.
Right.
Right now, you can buy that stuff online
anywhere. It's so much easier
even
now.
from the artists. Right? There's no exclusivity.
I will say this, though, Bob, going back to the celebrities. If Ron Howard's brother, Clint Howard, ever makes a con appearance, I have to get his autograph.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But, like, that's the thing. Now you come to meet Clint Howard.
The question is, which picture would you have him sign?
It wouldn't matter because he's such a lovely person to look at.
Oh, Star Trek, no question. But that's the thing, though. Like meeting Billy West or meeting Ray Park or meeting Uhura from Star Trek, you can't do that online or in. So that's kind of the thing that makes these.
Yeah, right.
It's changed from Comic-Con to
PopCon,
pop culture con.
Unfortunately.
Well, I was just saying that, and how does that work with you as an artist? A comic artist.
It's rough, man. It's you gotta make do and kind of just promote yourself as best as you can. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Especially for the indie dudes. It's a tough market. Like you said, you got to compete with fucking. I'm sorry if I cussed on the. Yeah, compete with I don't know, name any B-list celebrity, and I'm not saying that's no. This is no knock against them because they got to do their thing too.
Right.
But yeah, it makes it harder for the artists to do it. Make
At the end of the day, Eric, they're not buying Max the Inebriated Rabbit. They're buying you.
Essentially, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, you got to be on your toes. You got to be loud. You got to be engaging. You got to be on for 3 days.
But on that same token, you can't be the carnival barker.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So it's a fine line.
But here's the thing that I see sometimes when the artists are, in their phones or picking their nails.
Or head down in their sketchbook.
Yes, I agree.
Like, I'll be honest, like you, Dom, Tony, you guys do it right. Your eyes are up. You're saying hi. You're talking to people. You're having fun. You're laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
And I mean, that's the sad part.
Engaging.
You can't just be a good artist.
Yeah.
You got to have a 5-star personality these days.
Well, and I think, and not, a lot of people, some people just don't have that quality, that aspect of them.
Then have a friend come with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have somebody who's able to do that, to bring them to your table. You know what I mean? I agree. I think, and it, yeah, man, it would help if some people that it's harder for them to engage people. Yeah, have a friend, a buddy that feels more comfortable doing that,
Oh my God, dude, it's still, I think it was you I was having this conversation with. Like, I didn't get that basically all you guys are like, everything's $5.
Yeah.
Like, that still blows my mind.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, the books you guys put out are friggin' great, and it's local, and they're $5. Like,
yeah, we see, at the same time, we don't want to gouge people, you know what I mean? Like, you want to make it affordable, but at the same time,
well, when you talk about gouging, you're spending $150 getting a family portrait with Ian Ziering, right? But you can't spend $5 on a really cool guy's book.
That's the head scratcher right there, right?
Yeah.
It's like, really? You're gonna wait in line for 30 minutes at least to get an autograph that costs $150, but you can't buy a comic book. And not only that, but I'll make a deal with you. I'll sell 4 of my books for $15, $5 a piece. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so.
And you'll stand there and talk to them for a while.
But the key is, because everybody knows who Ian Ziering is, they don't know who Erick Gutierrez is.
Right.
That's the thing.
I feel like that's a flaw in society.
Right? Well,
Yeah, exactly.
more power to Ian Ziering.
So we're in the midst right now of writing. It should have been written a long time ago, but how not to suck at going to a Comic-Con. This con's a little different than Motor City just because it's the crowds and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, we're on a few, like, if you're a really good cosplayer, like these two guys right here are, like, amazing knights. And, can I stop and take your picture? They all say yes. And then you block up traffic for a half an hour.
And they
for
stop
everyone.
right there.
Yeah. Oh, man. Sometimes it just gets out of hand.
Or it's not even that. Like, it's not even the cosplayers. It's people just like cons and grocery stores. I don't know what causes people to be completely self-unaware. And, like, people just, like, stop for no reason.
Well, a lot of congoers, not all of them. A lot of them are socially
You'd be amazed how
unaware of most things.
I mean, maybe, but I mean, dude, that's a consistent fact. Like,
people were doing. Imagine Disney. I just spent a week at Disney. People will just stop, and you're like almost running over their back.
Yeah,
and you're like, and even a couple times, like, and we're walking, and they look at me like I'm the idiot.
I've had people stop at my table, put stuff on my table, and start talking to somebody else, and I'm just like, all right, any time now you can just move your stuff.
That's right. Yeah, and
I'll be nice about it, but it's like, really?
The opening line of this article is move, bitch, get out the way. That's.
But that's, when we talk every con we go to, we talk about the one thing that hangs over the con, like the stench,
the funk of 40,000 years.
Yeah.
Some of these,
like
some
this
of
one
these
isn't
kids,
as bad because you're in big huge Kobo with big huge ventilation.
Yeah.
Well, man, there's a few.
Just think about this.
Where?
We're in the house that the Sheik built.
Well, not really. He was the arena next door.
Yeah.
This is the house at the North American International Auto Show built.
It's the neighborhood that had the house that the Sheik built.
Right.
Yeah.
You can see this from the arena across the street. Yeah.
I would love, seriously, and I know they did this a couple years ago or a year ago. I would like to see more, and I'm sorry, I completely went off topic.
No, it's no big deal.
There should be more wrestling shows here. It's a big enough venue. We can hold another wrestling show here.
It's a big enough venue, but is there? And I was talking about this with Huck yesterday, actually.
No, it's awful.
Huck, yes,
yeah. So
it's awful for wrestling.
So, like, dude, they stopped doing events here in general once they stopped drawing more than 4,000 people. Like, that's when they cut the cord here because it was no longer economically viable. And so that's the thing. And then these indies, they're lucky if they get 500-600.
Well, I mean, wrestling is kind of hot right now, so I think now would be the time to.
The problem with this venue, you look at this room. We're in Hall C. This thing's ginormous.
Yeah.
It's like the problem is putting an 18-foot by 18-foot wrestling ring in the middle of Gibraltar Trade Center. It just doesn't like the show that XICW had here. Like there was so much empty space. Like you can't curtain off every.
Well, I think a bigger promotion. Say like a Ring of Honor or an Impact, or
right.
I think they could pull it off. You can get like those what do they call them, the racks of the bleacher seats.
Yeah.
Smaller,
Eric, you know what this town needs?
Get about 900,000.
This town does not need an enema right now. I do, but what this town needs is a boxing, MMA, wrestling venue.
I agree.
That holds 2,500 people. That has bleachers. That has arena style seating, lights. Professional PA,
yes,
that max capacity is 2,500. If you can pull something like that off,
right, a small, intimate venue,
you could do, Kronk boxing.
Yes, I agree.
Small MMA shows, small wrestling shows.
Yes,
it would, and then
you'd have that hot, intimate crowd.
No, like kind of like at Philly, you had Arena 2300, the ECW arena. They would hold private events there when wrestling and all that wasn't going on. The bleachers were collapsible.
Right.
Oh my God, that was the perfect size building, and it's amazing.
I
there.
agree.
And it's in an area kind of like where Eastern Market is, where like it's an industrial area. It doesn't need to be in a sexy area.
I think you're right. I think
No, because fans will go where
right.
it is.
Yeah.
And, like you said, Detroit is a hotbed for boxing, hotbed for all the things you just mentioned. So I think it's viable. And it doesn't have to, you don't have to kill the bank with the attendant, like the size.
No.
I agree. Make it minimum 500 people at a small soup, you know what I mean? And then like maximum 25.
But you look at esports
3,000
right now,
seats.
you're getting thousands of people to watch people play video games now.
Yeah, I know.
Like this stuff's
Don't get me started on that.
This stuff's
That's
getting
just
nuts.
bizarre.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Well, there was video game shows when we were kids. Remember on TBS? What the hell was it called? Where they would play like Gorf against each other.
Well, I mean, there was
Starcade. It was called
that Fred Savage Nintendo
No, it was
Power
called-
Glove movie. There was
that when Magnum TA and Tully Blanchard had the equipment?
No, it was pre-Starcade. It was on WTBS like when cable just broke when I was like 13
Superstation
years old.
WT. That's this is 1980s Jim Ross, by the way. Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Ross, and we're live from the Cobb County Convention Center. And tonight we'll have Dusty Rhodes in a squash match. Well, he wouldn't say squash match, but
There's Dwayne Gill.
Dwayne Gill. Yeah. Here's this is Bell's palsy post WWE career.
He had a
Jim Ross.
stroke. He didn't have Bell's palsy.
Well, gentlemen, what I gather is that there are certain people in this convention that have the audacity and the tenacity to succeed. That being said, he's one hell of a hand.
That's spot on. So I just thought you did a good walk-in.
Yeah.
But damn, the Jim Ross is right on point.
All right, are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
I remember one time I walked inside the damn convention. There was a man walking around with his damn pants down to his ankles. I said, "What the hell's wrong with you, son?" And he said, "Well, I had the diarrhea." I said, "Well, shit, there's about 5 bathrooms in this damn building. Go use one."
That was the Undertaker, right?
Yeah. That's
good.
what
That was good. That was spot on.
All right, I don't know. I'm just.
What's with these cons? That guy's. Oh, speaking of spot on.
Was that good? Was that a good Stone Cold?
Yeah, that's right on. I knew exactly.
That's my
where I was
podcast,
getting.
Stone Cold,
Yeah.
by the way.
No, perfect.
What? When I tore my triceps muscle, Eric Bischoff fired me with the damn facts. Looking back now, I said, "Well, hell, he was right." And I shook his damn hand.
What?
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 I'll be honest with you. That was people hate it in retrospect. But that was so on. That was so over when that was the thing going on.
And the funny thing was, I don't think he at the time he did it because he actually couldn't hear. Like that was the whole.
Right.
He was, something was wrong. Yeah, something was. I forgot what he said.
That stuff timed perfectly. Like 20,000 people going, "What?" Every time you pause.
Now it's just annoying.
Now it's
It's like shut up, people. Just
Now it's like
We get it. We get
now
it.
it's like chanting CM Punk.
Yeah.
It's like we get it.
Yeah.
We get it.
Or then when they do the stupid. What's it? Now they do the chant where they say one fall, or what is it? How does it go? When they yell
one fall?
Yeah, or something. It's like, come on, just
The
stop.
following event is a singles match and it's scheduled for
One fall. One fall. Shut the
Actually,
fuck
the
up.
best is they go when the referee yells 2, like 1, 2, 2 to the he says
Yeah.
and the whole crowd goes sweet.
So
I'm like, oh, that's so good. I wish I would have thought of that. How did I not think of that?
You're not
Amazing.
that smart, Bob.
I know I'm not. That's what makes me mad. I wake up every morning going, I can't invent anything funny. That's all right.
It's all right, Robert. It's all right.
So you got to bust. I know it's on the spot. I'm telling you to dance, Monkey Boy. But man, we got to bust out some walking.
See, now you put me on the spot.
I know,
Shit.
no, because we need.
See,
we need
nobody
to set
prompted
the
me to do
stage.
JR.
Like match game. We need to set the stage right now. So he gets in.
Oh, it's the dating game.
Oh yeah, no.
This one time when I decided I was going to be a pro wrestler, I walked in this man's office and I said, "Listen, I'd like a title." And he looked at me and he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "What do you mean? What do I mean? I want a freaking title. I want one of those fancy gold belts." But I wanted to say something completely different, like eggs or something. And I got it. And I defended that title 4 times. 4 times. And I retired as champion.
Absolutely love it.
That made no sense at all.
No,
but
that's the best part.
That's not
That's the best part.
What do you mean, eggs?
So I guess where are you going to be after this one? Are you doing Monroe?
No,
Monroe.
I'm not. And I love Gary. I love his all his people, his family. I love Gary, but no, I'm not doing Monroe this year. This might be my last one for the year. I'm gonna hopefully have getting ready for next con season, which usually about March, April.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna have hopefully my trade, the first 3 issues in a trade soon of Max.
Cool.
And then I'll be working on 4. And then I got some other stuff lined up. Be working on movie stuff.
Yeah, it's an interesting process. I've been talking to Stephanie's
Yeah.
getting her stuff put in trades, and I've been
Yes.
talking to her about
That's the
what
thing
that
now,
whole
man,
thing's
you know?
like, and
Yeah. People want to see a book collected now. It's kind of the floppies are, it's sadly not like it used to be. You know what I mean?
So then, do you almost have to? I guess if that's where it's going, do you almost have to wait and not release until you have it trade ready?
But then it would be just a graphic novel.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, trades is more the thing, I guess, and that way, yeah, I could focus.
It's almost like you can't even just be a comic artist anymore. You have to be a web/graphic artist because you got to put all your crap online now. And
Pretty
you can't
much,
just-
yeah.
You need that ebook. You need that interactive comic book online. You know, it's almost like you need to get someone to cartoon your works, make YouTube videos. It's gotten way past the point of just making a good comic.
I drew a funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of sad, yeah. You got to kind of adapt, but I still love the pen and paper. Yeah, I'm old school.
No, I don't think there's nothing old school about it. But like I said, everything's like you almost need the other stuff too.
Yeah.
Well,
I am gonna get a. I'm behind. I am gonna get the tablet eventually, and start working on that. I have to. It just makes it a little faster and easier, So, but yeah, I got a lot of stuff, and I have to finish between now and probably next March. So look out for that.
Cool. All right. So where do people find you online to find your stuff?
Well, I am on the Instagramians.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember anything. Instagram, GoodyMax75. Facebook, I have Max and Avery and a Rabbit. On Facebook, you'll find them. Twitter, I'm the real Eric G.
And so for those who don't know, what is the story of Max? Because I have them, they're freaking hilarious. But what?
Yeah, well, Max is like essentially just a harken back to that old school, like Robert Crumb, Ralph Bakshi, kind of grimy, gritty. And for you younger kids that don't know who the hell I'm talking about,
look them up.
Look them up. And also, it's a rated R Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's the way I like to put it.
Yeah.
Cross between Charles Bukowski and Hunter S. Thompson. So it's like that kind of vibe, and it takes place in a much less gentrified Detroit after hour scene, which
so like 5 years ago,
yeah, or more.
Right.
When I've experienced a lot of
I
stuff
hate
that
when
Max
people
says.
fix up buildings. It sucks.
Well,
stop fixing.
We'll argue
stuff.
about that later.
And the mics need to go off for that one.
Yeah. Well, I've had bad experiences with the gentrifiers, so
fair enough.
Yeah. Until you walk in my shoes, mister.
He's just still pissed off CC's closed.
That's right. You're fucking right. I love and I miss. Shout out to Celeste because we still love CC's. Great place. Anyways, yeah.
I think that's where I first met and hung out with you. Was
Probably
there.
Yeah. Tell me that wasn't an amazing.
It was an
place.
amazing bar.
Yeah. Everybody used to go there. Didn't matter. Everybody was just welcome. Everybody just beautiful place. Anyways, yeah.
So Max Inebriated Rabbit on Facebook.
Yeah, pretty much that, and then like I said, the Instagram, GoodyMax75. Yeah, and that's
cool.
Still doing the cons, and eventually somewhere down the line, I'll probably put them on the Comixology. Oh, and a big thing. Well, this would be down the road. I want to animate him eventually.
Cool.
That'd be sweet.
What?
Yeah.
Be it like a good, Adult Swim.
Yes.
That kind of absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Wouldn't be on Saturday morning.
No.
Cartoons. Do they even do that anymore?
No.
No, they don't.
Cartoon Network does.
Cartoon Network, yeah.
Yeah. Or
Because they do
Boomerang.
them all the time.
Yeah, because it's called Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network,
Right. They're on Friday morning and Thursday morning and Wednesday morning.
there was let's talk about that real quick. There was a charm about that running home from school and like that 4 o'clock to like 3:30 to like 5 o'clock.
He-Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thundercats.
And they had them all
Transformers.
G.I. Joe.
Yep. Voltron.
G.I. Joe. Voltron. Yeah.
And then they would have like the Robotech. Remember that when that's when I fell. I was like, wow, this is amazing.
The
Yeah.
Channel 20 on the weekends. You had Ultraman,
The monster
Godzilla,
movies.
Yes.
the monster movies.
Chiller double feature.
Yeah. Oh, see,
Man, I missed that. I do. Yeah.
No, that's when scheduled TV was a thing. Now
I could have swore I saw Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things at least 5 times in one.
Oh, yeah.
That and
but like the
Dracula's dog.
The worst part about we wax poetic about Johnny Sacco and his flying robot. Oh, go watch that today.
Oh, it's awful.
Oh my God, is that not even close to resembling anything good?
Yeah, it's
Like
bad.
we talked
It's
yesterday.
SpaghettiOs, Bob.
Right.
You fondly remember SpaghettiOs as being amazing. Go buy a can now, I dare you.
Oh, yeah.
Like we talked with
it's like eating a ketchup with sugar.
It's soggy noodles in ketchup, yeah.
Yeah.
No, we were talking like with Kevin J. Anderson, so the guy wrote all the Star Wars novels back in the day. We were like, Star Wars, like the first movie that wasn't like, it wasn't corny sci-fi.
Yeah.
It was like, you looked at like, even in Flash Gordon, like it's campy and corny.
Yeah.
And that was 3 years later, but you look at everything Star Wars did, the names, there was nothing stupid about
No,
it.
everything's grimy. People were dirty. You know, like the ships look dirty. You never seen that before. Like Star Wars revolutionized all that, man. Like the style. You know, George Lucas talked about it. You know, say what you will about George. He was innovative. The ideas.
He sparked a religion.
Yeah, pretty
like,
much.
He didn't just create movies or characters.
Yeah.
He physically started a religion.
I mean, you combined like 3 different genres. You know, the Western, the science fiction, war epic, and then you had like samurai shit
and buddy movies.
Yeah. You just combine these, and you just made an amazing story. So yeah, agreed.
But you look at everyone's been trying to chase that ever since, and it's been rare. Like you, once in a while, you get a
Battle Beyond the Stars came close.
Oh
God!
Don't you dare talk about Roger Corman,
John Boy.
No, but once
it was.
It's hard.
Not John Marroquin, but John Boy, the actor.
Think about people that started sci-fi
who was on
since-
the Waltons,
the Valkyrie.
Good night, John Boy.
With her big giant
Good night,
boobs. Yeah.
was it Paul?
Yeah.
Good night, John Boy.
I like the Revenge of the Nerds version better. Good night, Booger. Burp.
Yeah.
But like no, there was like if you think about sci-fi has been created since that, like Super Troopers, Fifth Element. Like it's very rare that Alien, for that matter, that's been like.
I'm sorry,
not corny.
Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Damn it!
I was wondering about that one. I was like, yeah.
Starship Troopers. Sorry.
The first Starship Troopers was amazing.
Oh, it was.
Amazing. And
apparently there's an animated cartoon on Netflix now. I just saw.
A new one?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I never understood why they would just use infantry. Why didn't they just drop nukes from drones?
Because that was the joke of what they were trying to say. They were trying to say that, and this is why this movie's still relevant, and this is why people didn't understand it at the time, because they're basically saying we're so arrogant, this government, that we were like, we could just go over there and they're bugs. They're bugs. They're beneath us. All we have to do is put our soldiers that have brains, go in there and just use muscle. But no, as we can see,
there's a bunch of political undertones.
The arachnids
Yeah.
overran us, man. You know, that's
How about
why.
Tom Skerritt. Wasn't Tom? Oh no, the other one.
Michael Ironside.
God damn it, I did get those two.
How do you get the guy from Top Gun and the bad guy from V?
Top Gun.
No, the bad guy from like every 80s movie.
True, yeah.
And he always wore the same black leather jacket. You ever notice that? Like it was even in Scanners.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that's the worst fanny pack I've ever seen in my life. It's a belly. It's like a hairy belly.
That's amazing.
No,
Michael Ironside's
Viper.
the man.
Viper was from Top Gun. Was in Starship Troopers.
Yeah. He was in Top Gun.
Viper.
The Michael Ironside was he was the
was in Viper. Tom Skerritt, and then
Jester. No. What the
Damn
hell
it.
was his name? Shit, now I gotta look it up.
You talking about Clancy Brown?
No, he's talking about Michael Ironside.
Mr. Krabs?
No, the guy that lost his legs and Rico had to shoot him. You know what to do.
Oh, yeah, that's Michael Ironside. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was in Top Gun.
what to do.
Oh, was he? I don't remember that.
Yeah, he was one of the 2 instructors.
Okay.
Son of a bitch.
Rico.
I love Michael
But
Ironside.
those are good. But
Yeah.
then, oh my God, did you see like 3? I think 3 or 4.
They're all off. The sequels
Oh,
are
come
terrible.
on.
They're
Like,
terrible.
Stop.
They're terrible.
Stop.
Did you hear what they're trying to remake it, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, they're going to base it more on the book. I'm like, really? You're going to base the new movie on a fascist fucking book?
Right.
Like, I don't think this movie's going to go, well, certain people might like the film.
As long as you get no, it's going to be like Top Gun 2. Now you get
Electric Boogaloo?
Casper Van Dien is going to be Michael Ironside
Yeah.
now in this one.
Yeah.
Everyone fights. No one quits.
No one quits.
Rico's Roughnecks.
You apes want to live forever?
Right. Oh my God. And then the guy that went back to be that captured the bug that went back to be a private.
Yes.
What series is he in now where I'm like,
He was indeed Jester.
oh, he was Chester? Oh. 2 hours later. Welcome back to the show, Dave.
You know how my brain works. I was never gonna be able to do anything without that.
Eric, we're going to cut you loose. I know you got a booth to man. Appreciate it. Erick Gutierrez.
Or you've got Amanda Booth. I don't know how that works.
both, I think.
Yeah, same thing.
No, he might have a man that he needs to go booth. You never know.
That's disgusting. But Eric, always a pleasure seeing you. Always love hanging out with you.
Gentlemen, it was a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
Max the Inebriated Rabbit.
So
Find him online.
where's the drinking tonight?
We have no idea.
Because
what's going on.
we're both well rested and ready to play.
10 hours
you guys
sleep.
getting started?
Yeah, 10 hours sleep and full of sugar right now. So
Jesus, 10 hours. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys got more than me.
But hey, we're going to wrap things up. Eric, thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having
me. This is a special edition of the IT and the D Show from the Michigan Comic-Con, and we'll be right. Let's wrap things up for a very special episode 261 of the IT and the D Show post Michigan Comic-Con. I'd like to thank guests this week, Kevin J. Anderson, Erick Gutierrez. Also like to thank our sponsors, WGU, My Emma, and Sideline. On behalf of Bob, Dave, Nuri, and Randy, do us all the favor, drink up your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful. Beat it.
Hey, and so for those of you listening live, the show is going on. It's still going out. We have our recorded stuff that we did earlier. But yeah, we just had to get the closing in to do our thing. See ya.
See ya. Love you guys.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
Long live Flash. You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy.
Make the run. The run.
Game over, man. Game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth. Rude.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
Joe, own the truth.
Bear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would, Buick put their cars next to, the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right.
Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up.
Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just doing stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city.
I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.